Meg,
Yeah.
speak French to me.
Um, j'ai besoin l'eau. Um,
If you're just tuning
Pourquoi?
in, no, this is not your Duolingo app. This is Horror Rewind, and today we're talking French horror.
J'ai soif. Mon bouchon. I was just saying I need water
Oh.
because I'm thirsty.
Welcome to Horror Rewind. I'm Kelly Florence.
And I'm Meg Hofdahl, and we are two ghoulish chicks who love horror flicks.
After discovering our shared love of horror, we became lifelong best friends.
We love creating and discussing female-driven horror while also hexing the patriarchy.
But we also love a down and dirty slasher, too.
We are mothers, co-authors, screenplay writers, and we don't mind a little trashy TV.
So welcome to Horror Rewind.
Join us and let's begin.
Welcome to Horror Rewind, everybody. I am so excited today to talk French horror with you. And if you could tell from that opener, Meg has been studying French since high school, and you've recently gotten back into it.
Yeah, I've been doing Duolingo. Can you tell? Yes. We are going to be talking about French horror. We're talking Under Paris, and we're talking Infested.
And a few
Eh,
more surprises along the way.
Yes, we are. I've been practicing saying les yeux sans visage.
Now, we had the opportunity to go to Paris 7 years ago now and tour the catacombs and just do all of this amazing French business there. And what we really wanted, we were so basic. One night we're like, we just really want like rice. And we couldn't find rice like as a meal.
That's true. We couldn't. We were like,
We were wined and cheesed out. I don't know how.
I don't know how either. I think that sometimes we just go to our like basic selves and we really wanted some. Well, the thing is, like, I loved French breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
When I found out like breakfast in France was just bread with more bread on it,
Yeah.
I was so happy.
Yes. Now, speaking of bread and wine and cheese, you'll see here we have these lovely drinks, which we haven't even tried yet, made by our resident mixologist and producer, Asher. Asher, could you tell everybody what is in these lovely drinks and the history behind them?
Yeah, absolutely. It's so fun being on the show. I'm
Thank
like over
you.
here off camera. So for anyone watching the video, maybe I'll throw like a little photo of myself on the screen here. But
Yay.
what we're drinking today is a Boulevardier. It's my personal favorite cocktail, and it's often called the cousin of the Negroni. It's basically like a whiskey riff off of a Negroni, which typically has gin. So the Boulevardier has enjoyed like a resurgence in recent years, nearly a century after its creation, which was in one of Paris's most iconic bars. And legend has it that back in 1924, an American writer living in Paris, Erskine Gwynn, who was the founder of the journal called Boulevardier, wanted a twist on an old pal one night. And at Harry's New York bar, and said that he wanted to have something with whiskey in it instead of gin, kind of similar to the bitterness of a Negroni, and then hence now we have what is called the Boulevardier.
Amazing. Thank
Oh
you
my
so
gosh,
much. All right,
this
we're going
is
to
like-
try it.
I feel like I don't deserve the classiness level of this.
Okay, Meg, cheers.
Okay, here we go. Bottoms up.
It's delicious.
Oh my gosh. I feel like this is a reference that maybe a lot of people don't get, but you know the sweaty balls?
Been on
SNL, when you said it's delicious,
Oh,
you
sorry.
said it in such a like NPR voice, but you said
But
it
it
so
is.
yeah, You said it so like
This is for the ASMR people.
Yeah,
It's
ASMR.
it's amazing. Thank you.
It is.
Yeah,
Oh
of
my God, it's
course.
so good.
That's so funny. I was going to say, yeah, this is like, instead of horror rewind, it's ASMR cocktail sipping
Yeah.
It
today.
is. It is. We're just trying to get everyone in here.
So if
do
you're
you-
looking for the recipe, we will have it linked.
Oh yes. So do you do this at home, Asher, for your wife? Do you make cocktails?
I sure do.
Oh
I sure do.
my gosh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, it gets to the point sometimes where she has all her girlfriends over, and I'm like the resident bartender, just like in the kitchen, and that's my sole purpose. I
Wow.
don't talk. I just make drinks. I'm just kidding.
She's got no, that's great. I mean, seriously, she's got you trained really well. I love it.
It's fun. I actually am the one that's like, hey, I want to make you all cocktails, so like,
That's fun.
can you please have some friends over so I can like
No, this
be
is
a
like-
mixologist?
You should charge. This is amazing. This
Well,
is
we
bartender
will we will
level.
definitely employ you for
Yes.
further episodes,
Yes.
and we'll come up with themes. I love it.
Yeah,
It's our
now
favorite thing.
now your secret skill is revealed.
So, rewinders, if you remember, we were talking about future horror movies that were coming out, and we noticed that Under Paris, about Sharks Under Paris, was out quicker than we thought. So we rushed home to watch it, and it was so boring. It was, I wrote it down, 57 minutes in is the first time we have some shark action.
Aside from like the teaser in the
Yeah.
beginning, but so here's the thing, like
And no offense, like if you love that movie, great. It was too slow for us.
I saw a lot of people I respect like it. So I will say like it was a very mixed bag sort of thing where people, ooh, the drink's hitting me now.
Yeah, woo.
I saw a lot of people be like, yeah, I loved it. And a lot of people like, no, I didn't like it. We were definitely in the camp of like, oh, this is boring.
Yeah. I need more shark action.
Yeah.
I appreciated the science people. I appreciated a lot of smart women trying to solve the
Yes.
problem.
Yes.
So there were great aspects, but it just wasn't what we were looking for. I think that we went into it
Yeah.
with different expectations. Like I kind of wanted
Yeah.
more Sharknado. Like
Fun.
cheese. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes itself very seriously, which for a movie about sharks under Paris is like maybe not the tone we were expecting. I had watched the trailer, and I guess the trailer, the tone was serious, so I guess I should have expected that. But first of all, make sure if you are gonna watch it, it is on Netflix and it is dubbed. So make sure you change it to subtitles, first of
Yeah.
all, because that's just hard to deal with. Um, I did like that there was right away, there's like an environmental aspect to it. Like there's a huge like plastic patch. And so right away,
It starts with a
um,
Charles Darwin quote. At the
yeah, there's a
top.
Darwin quote. So, they're definitely trying. It's not trying to just be, you know, a whatever gory movie, which I mean, maybe that's what we wanted.
Yeah.
Maybe we did want that. So I appreciate that it was trying to be something else. It was trying to have something to say. And like you said, there's lots of good female roles. Even I think mayor of Paris is a female, and she has that great, there's a great trope, the mayor trope,
Like in Jaws.
like in Jaws, who is like, wait a minute, we have this huge event coming, like we can't have sharks in the Seine, we can't have like we can't have this event being ruined by like sharks eating people, which I love. That's like one of the best
Yeah.
tropes, of course.
Wait, speaking of that,
Yes.
did you hear about, they tried to clean up the Seine before the Olympics, and
Yes.
everyone was supposed to poop in the Seine on the same day?
Yes, because I think, was it the mayor or somebody
was-
said they were going to go swimming in it
Yeah,
to
a couple
prove
people. Yeah, to prove that it was
that it's
fine.
it's clean, and so everybody's going to go take a shit in it. Which, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that proves anything, because I think you're supposed to prove that it's dirty anyway.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
It's very French, I
Yeah.
suppose, to do something like that. But I I liked that the shark itself was also feminist because its name was Lilith, which was very on the nose. And she at first was like gnawing on men, which we like. I also liked in the beginning how she came up and got the bends, and like it was sort of disturbing how she like got when she came up, like um all the blood was coming out of her nose, and like she kind of looked weird, and you're like, oh, is her head gonna explode from like
Yeah.
getting the bends or something? So there were like these aspects where you're like, this could be good, but then it got into the talking
There was a
and the
lot of
talking
dialogue.
and the talking, and it's like when we sat down for a family movie night a couple months ago and watched Jaws, and my boys were like, this is excruciatingly boring from their perspective. And you do understand from their perspective, because when I was a kid I would watch Jaws over and over,
Yeah.
but I realize now, like, that is perhaps strange that like an 11-year-old girl could sit through all those men talking and talking,
Yeah.
um because there is a lot of talking in that movie,
Right.
because there's only so much money a film has to show a shark,
They have
ripping
to fill the
people
time
apart.
somehow else.
Right.
And speaking of Jaws, we wrote about it in The Science of Monsters.
Right.
And even before then, Vienna was when she was 3 years old, and she's 11 now. She was obsessed with Jaws. Hence, this is why we have this shark that she drew the blood on, but the mouth
Yes.
when she was
Yes.
little. She loved Jaws. She loved Jaws too. Like she loved any shark movie. And
Yeah.
that's so, it's ironic that you say that because it is pretty slow moving and boring. But I think it was that anticipation for her. And she was playing with her sharks while she's watching her toy sharks.
Right. Well, and I think that there is a building of tension that, if done well, will keep you, like in any film.
Right.
In Psycho, you don't have Norman Bates stabbing constantly,
Right.
So,
So maybe we're just looking at Under Paris the wrong way. Maybe we need to.
well, no, I think they weren't building tension
Okay,
properly.
there you go.
That's my thing. There is, what the goddess was, the dog. That was the part where we were like worried.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I will say the dog survives.
Yeah.
So that was okay, but they got us in that moment because I didn't care enough about the other people, really.
Yeah.
They didn't really get me with, I wasn't compelled enough with the
No.
characters. So I think maybe we should move on
Yeah. We
because
won't
we
even
don't.
rank it because we didn't
Yeah,
love it.
it was fine. I mean, there was some good gore when they're underneath, like underneath in the caverns. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
We got some good gore when it's at the end, and there was some good like budget. There was definitely a budget for this film, and it was some fun. But I would say just fast forward through some
Yeah.
dialogue.
Just so you know, I wrote down 41 minutes and we need more shark action. And then finally, it's 57 minutes
Wow.
when there's like something
Finally
major
some
happens.
action. Yeah. So just my suggestion would be, if you don't want to hear a bunch of people just going on and talking, just get to the shark action and get to it.
Now, speaking of building tension, and in France, we instead are pivoting to this movie called Infested that we watched on Shudder.
Yes.
It's about spiders, hence our little spideys.
Yes.
It is so well done. And these are
Yes.
characters that we get to know and we
Yes.
care about and we're
Yes.
rooting for, even though they're not perfect people. Of
Yeah,
course, they're
it's the
complicated.
opposite type of people.
Yes.
Yes.
They're
I
just-
loved this movie.
No, me too. I absolutely loved it. So it is also watch it. It's not dubbed, but subtitled.
Yes, watch this subtitled. It's on Shudder. And I think anything on Shudder you can watch on AMC Plus, or you can rent on Amazon, I believe. So, and this came out, I think, in 2023. And the filmmaker Sebastian Vanisek, it's his first feature, And he has now been picked by Sam Raimi to film the next Evil Dead
Yes, and I'm
installment.
excited to hear that because
Yeah.
especially after seeing this movie, I'm like, oh yeah, this a lot of aspects of this movie reminded me of Evil Dead Rise because of it's all takes place most of it in this high rise building that somebody has brought an exotic. There's a character who collects exotic animals, but this spider that should not be allowed, and it wreaks havoc and multiplies and oh God, when it bites people, it's so disturbing.
So I heard about this through like word of mouth on social media.
Same.
People were like, check out Infested. And I hate spiders. Spiders are definitely on my like list of things I really don't like. I just don't I don't know if I'm at the phobia level, but I really really hate them. And we've written about spider
Oh yeah.
phobias in Science of Monsters and touched on them in other books. And I just really like I'm clutching the chair right now. I really don't like
I have
spiders.
to I don't know if you know this.
What?
When I got married when I was 19, my
Yes.
husband, who has since passed away, and I
Yes.
remarried, just to
Yes.
catch everyone up,
Yeah.
he had a pet tarantula named
Right.
Renfield,
Yes. I
and
do remember you
it would
saying
get
this.
out of its cage.
No.
And so I would just be sleeping, and
No,
then
Kelly.
I'm serious.
Though a
And
tarantula?
tarantula. And I had cats, and the cats would be going after the tarantula. And I'm like, why is the cat on me? And it's because there was a tarantula on me. I knew your soul would leave your body.
Were you okay with that? Like did you
No, that's disgusting.
But you
Renfield,
must be okay with that though, because if a tarantula was on me, like I would pass away.
Renfield passed away. I think this is why I was able to handle it. Not because of anything we did. He just one day was
Yeah, yeah.
upside down in his cage.
Yes.
And we buried him, but we didn't bury him deep enough. And we saw like something, a bird, like dig him up and fly away with him.
I think I'm disassociating right now. But what do you mean he was on you?
Like crawling. Like I have a blanket over me. I'm in bed, but it's like crawling on top of the blanket. I know, it's disgusting.
No. That's like my nightmare.
I know. That's why I'm telling you. I thought I would scare you.
No, that is scaring me. Like even no.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, you
No.
have like a bearded dragon that crawls on you.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
Like no, a bearded dragon is fine. I have Pearl, a bearded dragon, and she's cute. To me, that's completely fine. But a tarantula, that's like I would shoot it. Like I've never held a gun in my life, but like I don't condone gun violence.
So,
But
knowing now, I mean, I know that you had this bird phobia, but knowing
Yeah.
now how
Yeah.
afraid of spiders you are,
yeah.
how did you get through this movie without like
But I
feeling
like
your skin was
no, I
crawling?
did feel
Okay.
like my skin was crawling. And actually I was watching it and Dexter came in and literally I'm watching it on my iPad and he literally came and touched me on my cheek with his finger.
Like purposely to
No.
scare you? Oh.
He just did it out of the blue and I like jumped. Like but that's the thing is I love being scared.
Yeah.
So I wanted to watch the movie because I was like, ooh, spiders, like
You know,
I want to watch it.
remember we used to watch Fear Factor, and I feel like
Yeah.
there was a thing where you'd put you in like a coffin with a bunch of tarantulas.
Oh, yeah,
to
no,
win
that
money.
would
Could you have
be-
done it?
No. I mean, well, how
For,
much
like, $1
money
million?
are we, maybe for $1 million. How much money are we
Hey,
talking?
anybody who has a lot of tarantulas and a lot of money,
This
we're
could make
listening.
good TV. No, yeah. So Dexter timed the coming and touching me like that really well. He had no idea I was watching something about spiders, but he soon found out.
Oh my
when he came.
gosh.
But I thought that the visual effects were really good. The like special effects were really good. And like the whatever spiders that they built. And I love like arachnophobia and other spider films because I am afraid of spiders. So the thought of like a lot of spiders crawling on me or like big huge spiders. I've had like very like I've had thoughts of like, what if a spider like crawled in your mouth or your nose? We were watching Family Feud last night before we went to bed, and they were talking about what's the worst thing that could crawl up your nose, and
Yeah.
I thought a spider. Okay, we need to let's move on. But
Okay, this movie had a budget of 20 million. I looked it up right away because I'm like, okay, wait, this movie has a budget.
yeah,
And you could tell because, like you said, the special effects and practical effects were so good. Just even, and the acting was great because you could
yeah.
see just them walking through cobwebs. Like maybe that's not
Mhm.
inherently scary or creepy to the viewer, but that the actors sold it. And like
Oh my
also, I don't
gosh.
want to walk through a cobweb.
Oh no, that's the worst when that happens.
But yeah,
Well, and what I really appreciated, and maybe this is not what we wanted for the shark movie, but what I appreciate about this movie, and I think they sold so well. Well, at first, I was like, I don't know. When the movie started, I was like, I don't know, because it was like this guy was like this supposed like thug kind of
yeah,
feeling, and he was like buying this spider, and I was like, I don't know if this is for me. And then when he came into his room
yeah,
and we got to see him kind of like leave that persona behind.
yeah. And just be with his
And
babies.
he like named it he named it Rihanna, his little
Yeah.
spider, and then you saw him, yeah, he kind of took off that sort of edifice, and he just loved his pets.
Yeah, and he was like, he was loved them so much he was upset that his sister
Had turned off
turned off the
the
heater,
Yeah, and you
and
saw
that
who he
relationship
really
dynamic was interesting.
Yes, yeah, so you really got to see who he actually
Yeah,
was. That's when I was like, "Oh, okay, I like this guy, I like the dynamic." And then with the have and have-nots.
yeah, and so the whole we get to meet various people before anything goes down in this
Right.
apartment complex, and seeing how they look after each other or don't,
Mhm.
and who's judging and who's not, and who is welcoming and who isn't, and seeing that interplay before it all goes down. Then all of a sudden, like, okay, who do you trust? Who would you let into your physical, literal space?
Yeah,
Who would you save? Who would you fight
right.
for? It's
Yeah.
so good.
It's really good, and the filmmaker, had said, like, he wanted to tell a story of we call them the projects here in America, but basically like he wanted to tell a story of this low income housing and how we see the people there as, people on um maybe a higher socioeconomic level see the people there as throwaway, or they're all drug dealers, or they're all this or all that. And he wanted to show that there are so many different types of people living there, and that they are so
And
dynamic,
for various reasons.
for
Yeah.
various reasons, and they've been through so many different kinds of lives, and they're just so like, I have chills thinking about how he just really wanted to show how like there are kids there, there are elderly people there, there's
Yeah, the stereotypes and the prejudices, like,
right,
it all got torn away.
right, and how there's that amazing part where they go through that really scary, like, tunnel of spiders. I have chills, but then they can't get out because they're not allowed out.
Yeah,
The door is being
the
held.
government.
The government won't let them out because they don't want the spiders out, but it's obviously an allegory about, like, they don't want ho homelessness, or they don't want whatever that they think is inside to spread, right?
Right.
It's this amazing allegory. Um, and the climax was amazing, and it's heartfelt, and you're, like, worried about the characters. It's exactly what Under Paris should have felt
Yeah.
like. Um,
And I think, again, it's all about what characters are we meeting and following in which journey. Under Paris, we didn't get that. We were looking through the lens of, I don't know,
mhm,
scientists, and that's fine. We
mhm,
love science, but
mhm.
this was much more interesting seeing it from this
Intimate,
angle. Yeah.
and yeah, it just felt more, yeah. So I loved it. it was scary. Obviously, for somebody like me who could not handle a tarantula crawling up my leg, I don't know how you did it. You're one tough bitch.
Thanks.
Renfield is a cute name,
It
though,
is
for
cute.
a
It's a
tarantula.
perfect name.
Yeah,
It is.
that is cute.
Oh, and you know about this, but we would have to buy crickets to feed.
Crickets is okay. We feed like that kind of stuff
I
to
know.
Pearl. It's the mice and stuff that
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't handle. Yeah,
Like with a snake.
I could handle a snake over a tarantula. though.
Really?
Yeah.
Bring it out. Just kidding. We were just waiting for you to
Yeah.
say something. We have an exotic pet dealer in the hallway.
Great.
All right, let's rank Infested on a scale of 0
Okay.
to 10. 0 being you hated it, 10 means you think it was a perfect movie. Our scale has to be just spiders,
Those
right?
spiders.
Oh my God, the scene in the shower when she's like in the shower
Oh
and they start
my
coming out of the drain. Okay,
gosh.
how many spiders?
Okay,
Rihanna spiders.
I'm gonna give it 9 spiders because stop killing the dog.
Oh, I know.
You don't. That's what I'll give Under Paris. They at least didn't kill the dog off. Stop killing the dog. You don't need to kill the dog.
Okay, I don't believe in killing dogs either in movies, but I'm giving it a 10 because
Okay.
I think I watched it twice.
Oh wow.
I watched it and then I'm like, Campbell, you need to watch this. And I watched it again with him
Did he like
and
it?
he loved it.
Oh good.
And he was like freaked out.
Okay.
So it was just so well done and
Yeah.
amazing storytelling. I can't wait to see what he does next. And
Yeah.
it just happens to be an Evil Dead movie. So
Awesome.
I'm on board.
Yeah, I love that Sam Raimi saw it and was like, yeah, that's cool.
So rewind
Yes.
our French horror episode. What
Yes.
are you rewinding us to?
Oh, that's Les Yeux Sans Visage, but also
Ooh.
known as Eyes Without a Face, which
Oh.
I think just the title alone, I was like, well, I have to watch this.
What is this?
Also, just a shout out to my first French horror movie that I fell in love with, which was High Tension from 2003, which is available on Tubi. And I have not seen it in many years, but it has a great twist. And it was made by Alexandra Aja. I'm not sure how you say it. Is it Aja? Aja? Anyway, who had later went on to
You're the
do-
one who's studying French.
Yeah. Honestly, when we were doing that French thing, I thought we were still playing around. So I
Oh.
didn't know that was the opening.
That was the cold open.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Anyway, this Aja did The Hills Have Eyes from 2006 and also Crawl. So has done American films.
I love Crawl.
Yeah. And anyway, but High Tension is available on Tubi and is a great movie. But anyway, okay, so Les Yeux Sans Visage. So Eyes Without a Face is on Max, and it's from 1960. And it is, so I chose that one because I had seen, well, first of all, the title. I mean, come on. And I had seen some like visuals from it, and it just looked creepy. And I'm like, let's go. Like, I don't know anything about it. It felt, did I say 1960?
Yeah.
It felt very I can't now I'm like very
Hyper aware.
very hyper aware. It felt very giallo, like it felt very in that sort of vein. So it's about, and I don't want to give like too much away because I think you should watch
Yeah.
it. Because it was good. It kind of has like almost it the setup is almost fairy tale like in the sense that it is about this doctor who his daughter gets in a terrible accident and basically her face gets like ripped off.
Like,
Sorry, I'm laughing.
like Nope style,
I mean, yeah.
which was
And-
based on a real incident. By
yeah, and he just so happens to be a doctor who like works on faces
Okay.
and stuff, you know. And he's like, I promise, like I'm gonna, and the accident was kind of his fault. So he's like, I promise, like I'm gonna like like build you the perfect face. Like, don't worry about it. And she wears like she wears a mask.
That looks like a human face.
Yeah. And but it's all very surreal because she puts this mask. You don't see her face. They like they sh- you know, when she's having dialogue, she like covers her face when she's like, you know, and then she'll put the mask on. Um but it's weird because when she's you can tell, how do I describe this? You can tell that it's a hard mask, but um it's supposedly her lips. Like, it's very weird. Like, it's all very
It's a
sort of
little,
hyper
yeah, yeah.
realistic, surreal. Well, those are two different things. But anyway, um so
It's just,
everything feels a little
I was just
off.
gonna say it's left of center enough to be wrong.
Yeah, it feels just a little like, okay. And he like has her mom, his wife, like she keeps talking about how he like built her a new face. So it kind of has this like Twilight Zone feel a little bit. And so what he's doing is he is going around and killing women and taking their
Oh
faces.
boy.
And he's yeah, and then they show a surgery where he's like taking her face off and then he's putting it on the daughter's face.
So what you're telling me is that John Woo's Face
Yeah,
Off with John Travolta
it's
and Nick
from
Cage.
this. Yeah.
Okay.
So he puts Nick Cage's face on her
Yeah.
face. Um it's it's very matter of fact gore because they literally like show, there's a really long shot of him cutting cutting here, but
Ew.
imagine 1960. So it's like they're doing their best in
Is it in black
1960.
and white?
It's black and white.
That's what I'm picturing.
Um and it's just very strange how they like, it's just, and the use of sound, like there's he has dogs underneath the house that keep barking all the time, that he's supposedly using for um experiments. They don't show that. But they use the dog bark in a very effective way. Um, and a lot of animal sounds and things like that. Like they know what
This
they're
sounds
doing.
creepy. I want to know what the
Yeah.
soundtrack is like. Does the soundtrack add to that?
The soundtrack adds to that again. The soundtrack made me think of Psycho, which came out the same year, and it made me think of Twilight Zone. Um, my favorite part, and again, I hate to give this away. Um, oh, and it is based on a novel. But my favorite part is that the dogs are set free. They get their revenge.
Oh,
But my favorite part is you can tell in one shot that the dogs are sweet.
well, of course. And they're all wagging their tails,
Yeah,
probably.
but they're getting their
Oh,
revenge.
I love
And
it.
in the shot, they're like supposed to be like ripping somebody apart.
Yeah.
But they're really cute and sweet. So that, like that is the best.
Yeah.
But it is upsetting, unsettling, and I'll just say that like the woman who's getting her, you get to see what she looks like at one point. That's what you want to see, right? Is what she looks like without her mask
Yeah.
on. And also you get to know her and how she feels about this whole situation. It's just a very unsettling, strange French film, and I really encourage everyone to give it a try. It was really compelling and weird, and I don't know, it was just
Well,
like
color me
surreal.
intrigued. I am there.
Yeah, it was it's just a strange little film, and I think it's interesting to watch these movies that kind of set. I think it's a really important film, even though a lot of us may not have even heard of it. I think when you see some of the visuals, you'll be like, "Oh yeah,
This inspired probably a lot of
yeah,"
filmmakers.
and Yeah, I don't think I wrote it down. It's 97% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think I did see a lot of filmmakers like harken back to it and say it inspired them. Um, but yeah, I encourage everybody to give it a try and just if like vibes is your thing, go for it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Mhm.
We're gonna fast forward a little bit, not the whole the way in the tape yet, but I want to mention some other French horror movies that we have loved,
Mhm.
or that I have loved and seen. One of my, I love it so much. As Above, So Below.
Yes.
You had not seen it, and we were literally in Paris. I'm like, Meg, we have to watch this. So we watched it while we were in Paris, and it was amazing. It's so well done. And we were
Yeah.
visiting, it was before we were visiting the catacombs. So I highly recommend that.
And what's cool is that they actually filmed it in the
Yes.
catacombs and had the actors actually crawling around in the catacombs, and the catacombs have actual skeletons in them.
Yeah.
So when you go and visit, like when we went to visit, it's very strange because we didn't know how to
You don't want to
pose.
smile.
You don't want to Yeah, you don't want to smile cuz you're literally in front of dead
Yeah.
bodies.
Yeah.
So you're not smiling. It's very strange, but it's such a surreal experience. But the way they had their actors actually going through the
Yeah.
catacombs was very interesting in that
And
film.
it's a great, obviously claustrophobic, psychological, and layered horror movie.
And that movie came out what, like 10, 15 years
Yeah.
ago?
And then one more recent that I know you haven't seen yet, and we talked about it in a previous episode of Horror Rewind, was Raw.
Yeah.
And it's so good. There's cannibalism and gore. And I can't believe you haven't seen it because you will
I
love
know. I know. I don't know what's wrong with me.
it. But it's well done, and it's a girl at medical school, and she just gets a craving. And
Don't we all?
yeah, you'll see what happens. Your craving might have been for, Dunkin' Donuts at 3 a.m., but this girl craves something else. You can guess. Now, I'm fast forwarding all the way to the present. It's not French related,
Oh.
but it's travel related, and it's European, and it is beautiful and delightful. And if you've watched it and we have managed not to talk to each other about it, I'm impressed,
Okay.
because this is literally, it's in my top 10 favorite TV series of all time now. It has blown me away. It's Ripley.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet.
So it is the remake, of course, of the retelling of The Talented Mr. Ripley, based on the novel from, I'm going to pull this up, 1965? 55, sorry.
Patricia.
Patricia Highsmith.
Okay.
And then it was made into a movie, of course, in 99 with
I love
Jude Law
that
and
movie.
Matt Damon. And so, ironically, travel, the first and only time I ever saw that movie, we were in Vancouver and we watched it one night
Oh,
because you're
yeah.
like, I love this movie.
Yeah.
Never read the book, never saw it again. But then my sister-in-law, shout out Beth, was like, have you seen Ripley? And I'm like, yeah, I started it. But she's like, it's so good. And so then I was like, okay, I need to power through and not do other things while I'm watching it. It's so beautifully shot. Andrew Scott is in it, who, if you are a Fleabag fan, he's the hot priest.
I love him.
Or if you're a Sherlock fan, he was Moriarty. It's all shot in black and white. Dakota Fanning is in it. It is so well paced. It has so much time to breathe, because the biggest complaint that people have about adaptations from novels to screen is that, like, oh, they cut out this part and they cut out that part, and oh, I didn't even see this character. Well, you have to condense it for time. Making it an 8-part series, 1 hour long episodes, was a feast for the eyes, the ears,
Yeah.
everything. The lack of sound and the showing of these spaces and the gorgeous cinematography. It's going to win a bunch of awards. It'll be nominated. I'll say
Yeah.
that. And it just reminded me of something that we've written about, is lying and sociopaths and the science
Yes.
of confidence men. So
Yeah.
con men, this Ripley is absolutely the best. And he plays it so well and layered, Andrew Scott. And that's not a spoiler. I mean, I think everybody knows.
From the first film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and the book in 1955.
Yeah.
But it is so well done. And it is one of the best TV shows I've seen in my life.
Oh my God. I'm so excited. I was just thinking I needed to watch it.
Yeah. It's very Alfred Hitchcock. It's very Agatha Christie. I
Yeah.
would say it's all of those things. It builds tension. Speaking of how we like the tension being built and we get to know these characters and these people, it is so fascinating. And everyone is classically trained and you can just tell, and they speak so much Italian. So this has inspired me. Like, I need to get on Duolingo and learn Italian.
Yeah.
Only so that we can go there and eat pasta.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm let's go. You order the pasta.
Yeah. And so there's this amazing episode, and we're gonna write about it for Horror Tree. It's already probably by the time you're listening to this, but after you watch it, we'll write about it, and it's one of the best episodes of television
Oh my gosh.
I've ever seen in my life.
Wow. Well, Andrew Scott is like on another level.
Yeah.
So I totally. Why do you think it was shot in black and white? Is it because of the era? Is it because we need to slow down?
So I read an article. The director said that he wanted to shoot it this way because the copy of the book that he had, the novel, there was a black and white photo on the cover. And as he was reading it and he would set it down and just look at that photo, he's like, this has to be black and white because this is the era and this is what it should be. And so I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. Like, what did this guy write? Well, he wrote Schindler's List. This is an accomplished screenwriter, so he knew what he was doing. And I'm like, oh, this is why it's so perfect. I mean, not that a first-time writer or director couldn't get it perfectly, but this was
pacing and
established.
Wow.
So
okay,
I know I've built it up too much, but I don't think that
I'm ready.
And horror fans, this is horror.
Oh,
I mean, this is psychological, and there's murder.
Yeah.
And intrigue.
There's murder afoot.
Oh my God, it's so good. Oh, and I have a little Andrew Scott story. So I was able to meet Andrew Scott and have lunch with him when I went to the first Sherlock convention, and he was lovely. And we were like there were 6 of us at a table, and he's like, everybody go around and say who you are, where you're from. And we were all from different countries. And I'm like, and I made him laugh. I said, we're like the United Nations coming together, like whatever, like making peace. And so it was lovely. We got our picture taken together, and I'm a little bit taller than he is, but that's okay. He's a short king. And I had that picture of us as my profile picture for a long time.
Oh, Andrew.
But I need to step away and not be that girl. So
no, you are that girl. It's
yeah,
fine.
I know.
You're his girlfriend.
I mean, he's very openly and proudly gay, and you can still
be his
love
girlfriend
him.
in like whatever.
Oh my
universe.
God! Did you see the footage? I'm going to show. I was waiting to show you this footage. I'm not going to show it to you now. He and Phoebe Waller-Bridge went to Taylor Swift together the other night.
See that.
I was freaking out. Okay.
I do love him very much in Fleabag. We all know that he's very good in that.
Now, did you see the movie with Paul Mescal that he was in?
No.
Okay.
Is that good?
I haven't seen it because people are saying like it's gonna break you, and I just haven't been in that headspace.
Like in a sad way,
yeah, in an emotional way.
Oh God.
So I just don't.
I'm still trying to get over these spiders. Okay, Kelly.
So how about if Andrew Scott, you said like, I'll put a tarantula on you?
Is this a sex thing?
Well, maybe.
I don't know.
Would you allow it?
Can like my therapist be there?
No, this is getting kinky.
Yeah, I don't know. This is
it's like exposure therapy, which I think is ridiculous. And I've seen these clips from Maury lately of like
the
woman
pickles.
The pickles and the olive lady, and they just like
that
chase
was not.
them.
I feel like you need to start with like half of an olive.
It's way too extreme.
Not the jar of olives.
Oh, and we used to watch that show with like that therapist Robin from Hoarders.
Yeah,
and she did exposure therapy.
I think you need to start small.
Yeah, and that's how she did.
We need to start with a spider leg.
See, look, no, this is therapy
I do
for
like
you.
spider. That's the thing. I have a bird tattoo.
Yeah.
But I don't want a bird landing on my head. you know,
Or a baby bat.
or a baby bat. Yeah.
So
yes.
So that is my
okay. That's cool.
my
That's your fast forward. I love
yeah.
it. That's really, really cool. I've been wanting to watch it. I just saw something about Ripley the other day.
Oh my god.
So, and I don't know why, but I was so obsessed with Talented Mr. Ripley in 99
Yeah.
when it came out. Like I saw it in the theater. So I was like 15 in 99. And I don't know if it was just like Jude Law and Matt Damon. I don't, and there was just that psychological, I don't know what it was, but
I mean,
I
it's
was
a great
just,
story.
it was great, but like there was something about it I was just like really obsessed with. Like, I don't know what it was, but I was like really obsessed with it. So I don't know why I haven't seen Ripley yet, but
I have a special feature to talk about.
oh, okay.
Now, can you say it because it's French? The black cat painting. Do you know what it's called? The cat noir.
Le Chat Noir.
Yeah. So that inspired me to talk about a place that we visited recently here in Duluth called the Wired Whisker.
Oh yeah.
It is a lovely cat cafe. You can go in and get drinks, snacks, coffee, and just watch the cats through the glass, or you can do as we did and make reservations and go in and play with the cats. When we were there were 7 kittens. 6 of them were sleeping the entire time.
Yeah.
And then this one queen showed up from nowhere. Her name was Swing Set. They named her Swing Set, by the way. And she's like, I'm here ready to play.
They all had like
Playground
names.
themed, yeah.
I mean, we have to give them a break because like they have to come up with a lot of names.
Yeah, they name
there.
cats all the time. And every cat is for adoption. My daughter fell in love with the one who was walking around and said, we need to adopt her.
Yes.
We went up to Animal Allies. She wasn't ready for adoption yet. But she fell in love with another kitten who she named Whiteout, and he's been hanging out with Meg now in our house.
Adorable, and he's like the size of a coffee cup right now. And he's like, I'm gonna steal him and bring him home.
I know, and you could because he's so tiny. You wouldn't even know.
I could fit him in my pocket. He's so sweet.
So this is just a shout out to Wired Whisker. We love it. We recommend you check out cat cafes, pug cafes. I saw not a chupacabra, a capybara cafe. That'd be fun. A chupacabra cafe.
Or a Chewbacca cafe.
Yeah.
That's what I thought of when you said that first.
And we recommend adopting pets when you can, rescuing them.
Yeah. Yes, we just got to rescue our third rescue pug. She
her name is Imogen.
And she, like her other 2 rescue pug sisters, has visual problems because pugs, especially pugs who are not taken care of properly, when they're first like born, and she's 2 now, they get visual problems, and she also was bred way too young, and so that's kind of our specialty now, and so we have so much love for pugs that we knew she could join our Grumble, which is the name of a group of pugs.
Oh my gosh.
And so rescuing animals is really important to us. And yes, I haven't bought my ticket yet, but when I'm going to London before I go to Oxford.
When this episode airs, you'll be able to go on Meg's Instagram and see her at a pug cafe.
It's called Cup of Pug. There's one in London and one in Manchester. I'm going to the one in London, and I'm only going to have time to basically do like 2 things when I'm in London before I go to Oxford, and I'm going to the British Library and I'm going to Cup of Pug.
You have to have your priorities.
I do. And they have sausages there to feed them.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm going to be in like heaven.
No,
I'm going to be in literal heaven.
I love it.
I'm leaving my pugs to just go visit more pugs across the world.
So speaking of checking out our Instagram, her Instagram to see the pugs, check out our social media and make sure that you're subscribing to our Patreon because you get behind the scenes, never before seen footage, only available to subscribers of us rewatching The X-Files. And do you want to tell them about our group? that we've started on
Yes, our
Facebook.
group. And then can I do my special
Yes,
feature?
of course.
Okay. Yes, we just started a group on Facebook. It is
Show Me
called
Gore.
Show Me Gore. And we just love sharing our horror collections, our horror
Travels.
travels. Horror is such a hard word to say. After you say it so many times,
Yeah.
it does sound like horror.
Like cosplay.
Yes.
All of the things that you
horror,
love that are creepy, spooky.
travels, all your
Tattoos.
books. I love sharing like my book collections, my tattoos, all that stuff. So show us yours, and we'll show us. No,
I'll
I'll
show you mine if you show me
us-
gore.
Yeah,
That was the slogan.
yes. But it was too long, so we didn't put that whole thing as the title. But anyway, join our Facebook group. It's a public group, and we're on there chit-chatting. And you can find it. Show Me Gore. So anyway, I want to share my special feature really quick. My good friend Iris, she's a doctor. I live in Rochester, Minnesota, which is the home of Mayo Clinic, and she is a world-renowned GI, which means she's a poop doctor. And she does that at Mayo Clinic, and she travels all around the world talking about our guts and poop. And she wrote a book. I'm actually going to lean down and grab it because I want a visual aid for those of you watching on YouTube, because it's so cute, and this is something for the kids. It just came out from Mayo
Oh my
Clinic
God,
Press,
cute!
and it's just up our alley because it's a ghost. And it's called Boo Can't Poo. And who hasn't been there?
Aw.
And
That's freaking adorable. Is he holding toilet paper?
he's holding toilet paper, and she has these. She tucked one in mine. It came with mine because I went to the
book
book
signing, yeah.
party, the book signing, and there are stickers of it. And I was
Oh.
like, I'm not leaving until I get a sticker
Oh my
of the ghost.
God.
So I literally just opened it to a page where the dad ghost who has a mustache is like, you need fiber.
This is freaking adorable, and it's so smart.
It's really smart, and she's going to be writing more. She actually just signed with our agent.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I introduced them. And she's going to be doing all sorts of books for
deep
kids
breaths.
about all the poop problems.
Can I borrow this book later? Just kidding.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who
I don't
hasn't
need it
been
today,
there?
but-
Who hasn't been there? And so this is for little kids who maybe need some help. I mean, look at, he's sitting on the toilet.
Oh
the
my gosh, there's
ghost.
poop.
Yeah, and the poop has a smiley face on it.
Oh,
So,
good.
but I love that it's a ghost.
No,
so
that's-
that it's very much
That's
up
freaking
our alley.
adorable.
And so you can get this on Amazon, but also request it at your bookstore near you. And it's Boo Can't Poo. And we were talking about all the things that she can write about coming up. Maybe like Boo is pooing too much, or all the problems.
Boo has gas.
Boo
and it's
has
just like,
has gas, and it's causing problems at school. Boo school. I don't know, but anyway, Iris is just a delightful human, and she poop is her job, and she takes it very seriously. And look, there's hard poo and soft poo.
Oh.
So kids love this. So
will you show that to my kids later?
I will.
They'll get a kick
they'll
out of
love
it.
it. So she, at the party, she literally sold out in 30 minutes.
That's amazing.
I got the second to last copy. I was like, give me that. So anyway, it's so cute. So
okay, I know what I'm gifting all of my littles.
I know.
for-
I was like, I wish I knew more little kids, because
Yeah.
I feel like I don't
this is
have
great.
enough little kids in my life. And she signed it to me on the
Nice.
back, so I have my own little copy. But yeah, from now on, I know
That's
the
the
gift.
go-to gift. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, check that out. And the fact that it was a ghost, I was like, wow.
No, it's perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah.
And we have little ghosty tattoos.
I know, it matches. And I wore my little like ghosty necklace when I went to go see her. And they did an article in our local paper, and there was a great picture of me and her hugging in the article. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. I just loved it because I just love supporting our writing friends.
Of course.
And the fact that she is a doctor and writing too, I just think is so cool. So
Hey, check out all of our show links so you can find the book that we talked about, find the shows and movies we talked about. And remember, we're on every other week, so come back and see us next time. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Horror Rewind.
to stay up to date on all our ghoulish happenings, you can visit our website down in the show notes.
Make sure to check to see if we are lurking through your town on our upcoming book tour or events.
You can also stalk us on YouTube and Patreon and all of your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks for listening to Horror Rewind. We'll see you in the horror section.